People, thanks for tuning in back again. This is the morning inside and Nicardo being hosted. Bless upon yourself. Thursday. It's just one day left before Friday. Chacha, the time I run fast. One more day before Friday. But look, we're going to talk about the players that Steve McCurran have picked in the central department since he got appointed, as the Reggae Boy manager until now. So from September of last year until now, he have used, should I say 12? I think I should say 11 and a half. Would you consider Joe Latibody as a straight up central midfielder? Because he have played in the defensive line and he have played in the midfield as well. So maybe less 11 and a half, but he have called up 5 JPL midfielders since September until now. But the players that Steve McCurran have picked in that central department since September until now, goes by the name by John Russell, Isaac Aiden, Kirai Anderson, Bobby Reed, Casey Palmer, Ravel Morrison, Demaria Phillips, Tyreek McGee, Joshua Anglin, Kevin Lambert, Sule Makala, Adrian Reed, and actually the man that play as a boaty, as a midfielder and as a defender, Joel Latti. But where I'm going with this, look, I called. They are not in farm for their club at the moment. Look, the most informed players right now for their club, one is J. Ross, two is Ravel Morrison. Those two players shared over 20 plus goal contribution for their club team this season, and Ravel is playing in a third tier football. Barnsley is in the third tier of English pyramid. So you will say both players are in the third tier of their respective country that they are playing. League One, and you will say what, Division 1, for Ravel Morrison, or Division 2, whatever it is, but it's third tier. It's just crazy. It's crazy that 2025, we still have to mention Ravel Morrison, because if you look at these names, it's a messy names. Huge potential. You will say these players have growing up as a youngster, but what is happening now with these sets of players? Jonathan Russell, the last time he was selected, as you guys know, it was in September for the Cuba and Honduras game. Did he feature? Did he get any feature? I don't even remember. The last time I can remember J. Ross played for the Reggae Boy team, I think it was in the Azteca. Yes, I think it was in the Azteca. Coach Alf Graham's first game. If I'm wrong, you can comment. You can correct me in the comment section. I will take that. But that's the last game I can remember. But people, I just want to get your opinion on this. What I'm going to talk about. I don't want you guys bring any players, any heritage players that who we know not have no passport already, who Steve McCurran have never used. We're focusing on these players, and I would like to get your reaction and get your opinion on who will be that midfield 5 going forward. Who is the best choices, these sets of players going forward, because look, it's just hard to talk about players that we don't know anything about in terms of paperwork, yeah. So only can talk about hypothetical speaking. Don't want to bring any theory into this. We want to talk about real life stuff. These are the players that Steve McCurran have picked so far since he have got appointed as the Reggae Boy coach. First sets of game that he managed in the dugout in September until now. So he played 6 games in the year of, he managed 6 games in the year of 2024, and he have managed just 2 games, competitive games. I'm talking about competitive game. No, that's, you will say 8 games gone now in the Steve McCurran era, and I think a couple friendlies. But people, look, this list, Jonathan Russell and Ravel Morrison is our 2 most informed midfielders currently. And guess what? Those 2 players are playing in a third tier system of their country that they're playing in. Ravel is over there in the Middle East playing in a third tier system. Barnsley is in third tier of the English pyramid, League One. You understand? So it's just crazy, and J-Ross 40 plus games, score 10 goals, 2 assists. Ravel played around 17, 18 games, around 8 goals scored and a couple assists. So both players almost contributed, 30 goal contribution combined together. So is that enough? Is that the quality of players? That's a level where our players are playing, especially a player like Ravel. Look, abundance of quality, but we haven't seen Ravel play for such a long time. We know the quality that Ravel possesses, probably a couple years back, but we haven't seen him. It's such a very, very long time now. So we only can make a judgment on what we saw Ravel, the last couple of times when he played for the reggaeboyz and he actually scored that beautiful free kick. Then I don't remember if it was on Suriname or one of those teams in the national stadium. Wonderful free kick, but the quality of Ravel, the quality of John Russell, is that enough for us at this moment? But how would you want Steve McLaren, to go about of picking the best player pool that can do something in the World Cup qualifier coming up, in the Gold Cup coming up? If there will be changes, new players that will be coming in, fine. If they will add quality to this team, fine. But I'm not here to talk about those players because we don't know anything what is going on. Look, I have no inside story, I have no inside news of who will get picked. I'm not the brain of Steve McLaren. I'm not the brain of the technical committee. You're talking about the team manager, the president. I'm not the brain of those guys, the scouts that scouting these players. But the two most informed players, Jonathan Russell and Ravel Morrison. But who will be the best JPL central midfielder that can fit the type of players that you need to play at that level, to come up against Guatemala, to come up against, in the Gold Cup? Remember, I said, you have Joshua Anglin, you have Adrian Reed, you have Demara Phillips, I have Sule Makala. Those are the names that Steve McLaren have picked since September until now. Those 5 JPL players. Who will be the best one? Will it be 2? Will it be 1? Will it be 3? I don't know. But the best player right now in the JPL, in this pool of players I can think of, I'll probably have to go with Demara Phillips. A lot of people might say, hey, he's wild, he like to make, rational decisions. But I think if you look at the player profile, look, you're going to need players that are going to win the football back. You're going to need players that are going to bring intensity. You're going to need the energy. Not everyone will have that calm demeanor. And if you look at this Reggae Boy team, we have one natural CDM player, and that is Isaac Yen. One. That's crazy. One natural CDM we have right now playing at a very elite level, and that's a player that just got a contract, January, and a loan deal at Portsmouth. And if you look at his season, he's having an okay season. I think he played like around between 14 and 16 games so far. He's having an okay season, not the wow factor, season. And Kerry Anderson, he's having a mix. His season is just mixed. Sometimes he's on the bench, sometimes he start, sometimes he bring the spark to Charlton Athletic team. I think 30 plus games, you have played in so far with 2 goals. Another player, Bobby Reed, who is currently injured at this moment. Look, he's been in and out of a struggling relegation team, a team that got relegated from the Premier League. I think he had like 2 assists and a goal so far this season. And Casey Palmer is in a rotten farm right now. You just can't depend on Casey Palmer. Look, we have a couple players like Jairus, Isaac, Kirai, Bobby, Casey, that's it. And Joe Latibody, who is playing in England. And you barely can pick one of those players that play as a very decent level that who is on farm. I just don't know. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I don't know where this midfield is, where we're going to go with this midfield. It's still it's still a puzzle that needs to be solved. It needs to be solved. And who can bring the key to this midfield to unlock this puzzle, to bring that new identity? And recently I heard Pochettino done an interview for the US men's national team, and this is what Pochettino have to say and how he go about and select the players. And listen to the US men's national team coach.
In that case, money is when you compete, sometimes it's not the most important thing, but I think the mindset must be there. If not, only is talent that is sometimes useful, because if you don't have the right mindset to approach the game, that is why we are going to work, and also we need to be intelligent in the way that we are going to select the characters. No select only talent and names, if not to have a good balance, to provide the team the right characters to be really competitive.
You know, so Poch talk about, you know, the personality, you know, the character, you know, players that fit the profile, players that want to work, players that want to help the teammate. It's not just down to the quality. It's not that down to the skill. It's a combined. It's a collective of everything, and it's just crazy that who will bring the leadership to this midfield? Who is the leader in this midfield? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Like, if you look at it, it's just crazy. Like, we don't really have that leader in this midfield group that will bring the football to the opponent team. You know, someone who will be that creator. Is it Tariq Maggi? Chop off a farm. We saw the other day him bring Sule Makala, a man that barely can run. Joshua Anglin is another player that, look, I don't think Joshua Anglin, you know, have a US visa that probably cannot play even in the Gold Cup. So that's another bad one. That, look, if the coach like him, where he's going to go, he cannot go into the Gold Cup. All he can play the World Cup qualifier, and that's it so far. But who remember that tournament that we played, the Gold Cup in 2017? Because a lot of people will come and rubbish the JPL players. When we went to the final of the Gold Cup in 2017, when Tapa Whitmore was the coach, who was playing as a CDM? It was Kevin Lambert at the time for MBU. You understand? That's another player as well that once was in the selection, once was a regular, you know, for different coaches in the selection pool. Now he's having a half full time for Louisville right now in the USL. This is one of his worst seasons so far playing in the USL. Kevin Lambert was our starting CDM player in that midfield for Tapa Whitmore in that Gold Cup. Helped the team, you know, to get us to that final. I think we beat USA. I think we beat USA in that. Was that the same Gold Cup where, you know, Giles Barnes and Darren Mattocks scored, you know, when we beat USA in Tennessee? Is that this? I think that's the same Gold Cup, but you can correct me again in the comment section. So if there's a player that, you know, in the JPL where, you know, can make a stop league, you know, like patch up a little era in that midfield, who will be that player? And if you ask me, it will be Damara Phillips. But again, the personality, the character, you know, leadership, the work ethic, believe in each other. Can these sets of players bring that to this midfield? And we yet to see the puzzle solved in the midfield era. You know, Steve McLaren will be one of many coaches try to solve this midfield issue. And now, you know, talk about players that, you know, expect to come in. I don't want to focus on those players because we don't know anything on when or where those players will come from. Talk about the players that we have now, who will be the best possible five going forward. And if you ask me, my best possible five is Ravel. You know, and again, how fit is Ravel? You know, how much, you know, his match shot is. I don't want to really go much into details with that, but I guess playing, you know, over 15 games in a season, you know, you at least have a level of fitness. He should have a level of fitness. So Ravel, Jonathan Russell, Isaac Aiden, Bobby Reed is out injured at this moment, you know, so Bobby Reed is out of it. You know, I don't even know if Casey Palmer need to get picked, you know, I don't know, man, but because of his experience, because of the level he's playing, he's going to get picked over a lot of these players, but we don't really have the option. You know, Kira Anderson, that's 4. look, it's difficult, man. It's difficult because I don't really want to pick Casey, and I want to pick, a player that I would love to give, Demar Phillips a shot, but it is what it is. That's the 4 players, and it's either Demar Phillips or Casey Palmer for me, to be honest. That's it for me. But look, we are in 2025 at this moment. It's been a while since Ravel Morrison having played for the national team, and we still have to talk about Ravel because he's such a quality player. We know what he can do, but is it the same Ravel of the Ravel that played in the last, I would say, is it the same Ravel Morrison? I know he's 32 years old. Is it the same Ravel that once used to play for Derby County? Is that, he possesses enough that raw skill set? Same way, I don't know where is his headspace is at this moment. That's another thing that Pochettino talk about. The midfield is the engine for any team. If the engine for the car not working, how the car gonna perform? So it's very crucial. So look again. I'm just going to look in the comment section to hear and to see how you guys can really solve this, because it's a headache doing this video. It's a headache. You guys can actually see me really thinking about like who will be those players at this moment. I don't know. I really don't know at this moment. But people, bless upon yourself. I will be in the comment section looking out, to hear what you guys think. Is Ravel the man going forward for this national team, especially this midfield? Who will partnership with Isaac Hayden in the midfield? Isaac Hayden is the only player, and Jonathan Russell right now, you will say, deserve to be in the next starting lineup that will play in the next competitive game, and that is the World Cup qualifier. Isaac Hayden and Jairus will be or should be the next 2 players that name should be first in that midfield department, that look, they will start the next game. And anything from that, good luck to Steve McCarr. There will be no Bobby Reid. Derek Maggie out of touch. Kira Anderson is just mixed. He's yet to prove himself to us that he can be that staple in that midfield going forward as a youngster. This is his second season as a professional player. It's just crazy. And we continue to looking at Kira, young player. We monitor him, hope he can have that breakout here, that breakout spell for the Reggae Boy team. He had that breakout season last time out for Charlton. We waiting for him time to shine. Is it time now for Kira Anderson to really pick up that midfield and know that, look, this is my sweet spot. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to help to carry this Reggae Boy team forward. And I don't know, man, but it's just crazy. But people, let's upon yourself. Thanks for watching. This is Nicardo Media House, the Morning Insider Show. Look, I will be in the comment section because this is going to be a sweet comment section to read. It's going to be a bunch of stuff. People are gonna beat off me with a bat. People are gonna come at me. It's just crazy. But look, keep it fair and square. Keep it respectfully in the comment section. Bless upon yourself. Thanks for watching. This is Nicardo Media House. I'm out. Salute.